But did you know? Did you know this? I'm putting something on your mind about to blow your minds. French food is racist. Hey, I don't make the rules, man. That's what they say. French food is racist. Let's hear the explanation as to why the fuck it is. I'll read this obviously from the Blaze. And this has there is a, on a serious note, there is a big topic that I want to kind of talk about surrounding this issue. We'll get to here in a little bit. But the Times UK reported that a video of was that Matilda Cohen discussing the issue for a seminar outside of Paris is upsetting folks in France, as the paper noted that the country's cuisine is seen as the cornerstone of the national identity. Cohen, who hails from the University of Connecticut School of Law, suggested that French eating habits reinforce the dominance of white people over ethnic minorities. An academic paper that was part of Cohen's seminar asserts that France's eating culture has been the central means of racial and ethnic identity formation through slavery, colonialism, and immigration. The whiteness of French the whiteness of French food is all the more powerful in that it is unnamed, enabling the racial majority to benefit from food privileges without having to acknowledge their racial origin. Here's a video down here if you want of her discussing the whiteness. Let's see. She's not speaking French, hopefully.
The idea of food whiteness.
No, she's white as hell. She ain't. She's American. I knew she went to the. Hold on, let me pause it. I knew she went to the. Like I said, was that University of Connecticut, not Colorado. But I thought that she was like maybe like a French, somebody that either migrated over or was just going to school abroad. But no, she's American.
I'd like to tell you about the idea of food whiteness in French culture. By this I mean the use of food to reinforce whiteness.
Look at them eyes, by the way, man. Like this chick look crazy as hell.
French meal is often presented.
Look, no, hold on. No, on a serious note, hold on. I'm gonna back up real quick, and we'll listen to it. We'll listen to it here in a little bit. But this is a fucking crazy purpose. I know these eyes. We call it BSC. That's what we call it. BSC.
Reinforce whiteness as a dominant racial identity. The French meal is often presented as a national ritual to which every citizen can participate equally. But French foodways are shaped by white, middle, and upper class norms. There's a similarity between halal food and the headscarf question. Both are considered incompatible with Frenchness and its racialized universalist ideology. Yet the boundaries of whiteness are policed through daily food encounters. For example, the eating practices of peoples whose racial status is ambivalent, such as Arabs, Maghrebis, and Jews before them, are scrutinized for conformity with white norms. A familiar strategy for them to act white is to eat French, most typically by consuming pork. What role does law play in all of this? I'll give you two legal examples. The first is the regulation of school lunches, the cantine, which were established in the 19th century to fight deep.
She has a slight accent.
But a racialized and eugenic discourse was used to justify them. Today, by law, cantines are subject to the principle of neutrality, which is understood as exempting schools from having to accommodate dietary requests based on identity.
All right, guys, this chick is reaching.
White Christian norms are considered the default, much like whiteness itself is often construed as a neutral, non-racial identity. The
All
second
right, all right, all
example
right,
is
all right,
citizenship law.
all
Who
right.
gets to be a French citizen?
All right. I'm sorry, guys. I can't continue on there. This heifer is nuts. So, long story short, what she's doing is saying that basically, French food reinforces whiteness. And she's going into like school lunches and shit like that. See, and you wonder why I take such a hard stance on like academia, because it's academia that perpetuates all of this bullshit. Y'all do understand that, and this is why, like, you have to address not only just the money, but more so you have to address the like, for example, at least in our country, the federal government's involvement in education. Obviously, y'all know how I feel about the public schools, but it's not just those K to 12. We got to also talk about the universities. And a lot of this bullshit, where this crazy social justice shit, is coming from the fucking academics who, like, think about this. This person, I don't know what her actual position is, but she's went to school. She probably didn't pay for it out of pocket. Nonetheless, you did. Maybe she took out a loan. I don't know. Either way, that someone's paying for that, either you or future generations, nonetheless, by way of taxes or just, borrowing. Nonetheless, this is what you get. You get people with fake fucking jobs. You got this heifer sitting here lecturing people. And again, in some way, capacity, getting paid, maybe indirectly, albeit, but getting paid, maybe even directly. Getting paid to sit up here and reach about whiteness on fucking on food and shit, and how this sort of perpetuates some sort of racial bullshit. Now, look, we know and recognize that different foods, come from, different cultures and influence and stuff like that. But that ain't what we dealing with here. We ain't talking about black folk and soul food or Mexicans with eating, cooking Mexican food or some shit like that. That ain't what we talking about. We talking about, obviously, racism bad, white people bad, therefore French food bad. Like, that's basically what the reach gets. But this person, in the event that, let's say, for example, the entirety of the education system was overhauled, in a sense that it was not subsidized by way of the state with an unlimited fucking amount of funds, where people can go and get fake degrees, get fake jobs, and get paid to perpetuate these bullshit. Folks like her will be out of a goddamn job in the event that we lived in an actually market economy when it came to education in this shit only happens by way of state funding, because there's no demand for this shit. None. There's no demand. You can only have taxpayers subsidizing this type of behavior. But you wonder why, like, for example, with the world being so crazy, I encourage you guys. It's a fun little project for you guys. Go to like spots like Oregon, and you'll see how many where you get these riders and shit doing stupid shit. Go look at them, and you'll see how many of them actually, like, if you look at the mug shots and shit, you can see how many of them actually work for the public school system. So that was the big point that I wanted to make, and I wanted to emphasize when it came to these people are fucking crazy.